to believe that you were sent here for a reason. And even if it takes the rest of your life, you owe it to yourself to find out what that reason is.
How do you find someone who has spent a lifetime covering his tracks? For some, he was a guardian angel.
You've created fantastical worlds on screen. 300, Watchmen, Sucker Punch. Superman is still a character you want to be like. But now it's more complex. How deep did you go?
I think you gotta go kind of deep with him, because I think the thing with Superman, Superman gets better when you understand why he's doing what he does, right? Superman, he's got all these powers, and you wonder about, like, why does he act the way he does? And I think that's why you got to go back and you got to talk. You got to get Kevin Costner to tell you, like, oh, this is how you are, kid. Liz, trust me, you got to do what I say. And you get to see his home and his whole life. I think the more that you see, the more complicated he becomes, and then also the more you understand the decisions he's making.
Decisions. What kind of decisions help you to show more realism?
From the beginning, I was like, okay, I want the movie to be shot. I wanted the whole movie handheld, right? So that's a big deal, first of all. But it also teaches us immediately the kind of like level of production we're gonna need to make everyone believe, like, okay, this movie should feel real. I said, that this is the most realistic movie I've made, right? The most realistic movie I've ever made is a movie about Superman, right? So that tells you a little bit about what we philosophically were trying to do.
Okay. What about to shoot in 2D and convert in 3D in post-production?
Yeah. Well, when we were in pre-production, we did a test where we shot native 3D and then we shot 2D, and then we converted the 2D. Our company, Legend, converted the 2D, and we looked at them both, and I couldn't tell the difference between the converted film and the native shot 3D. And I just said, well, why would anyone shoot native 3D? It's like time consuming. You can't hold the cameras, and we're gonna shoot handheld. And when you see the conversion of this movie, it's so beautiful. Plus we had a lot of time in our schedule, so we really were able to do painstakingly careful conversion. Is one of the most beautiful things. I really said to the conversion company, I was like, if you shoot native 3D, you hate time and money, because you guys have done such a great job that I don't know why they just throw those cameras away.
Zach, is Superman the first immigrant?
He is. It is an immigrant story, absolutely. He's not the first one, but he's a pretty powerful one.
Pretty powerful.
But it's because it's an adoption story and an immigrant story. He's come here to his adopted world, and he has to make his way through it and find his place in it. It's very much an immigration story.
He's the ideal. He's the golden guy, the golden boy, the golden god. He's a pop icon. Do you think, did you make him bigger, stronger?
I didn't make him. Actually, I made him the opposite. I made him maybe physically bigger, but he's definitely not as crazy. His powers are not quite as crazy as they used to be. I mean, he can fly and do all the cool stuff, but I don't think he can lift up like a mountain or anything. He's very, because we used real physics in thinking about him, those limitations also came to play. Like what would really happen. Like I don't know if he can lift up, like he couldn't pick up a tanker. It'd be too heavy.
We have in Latin America many young directors with 9, 10, 11 years producing trailers or shorts. What do you recommend them? When they need to use handheld, for example?
Listen, my thing with style is you really need to use the style that's inside of you, that, the point of view you have. If you're making a movie, you need to go like, okay, it's not about whether you want it to be handheld or whether you want it to be on a dolly or whatever. It's like, what do you want to see? Like, what movie do you want to see, like, in your mind? And you got to go do that. That's how you do it.
No matter how violent, every action I take is for the greater good of my people.
My son, is twice the man you are.
You're a monster, Zod. And I'm gonna stop you.